So you guys sign someone up, high ticket, you feel like, okay, I've done the job, good, another client. But then you don't feel happy. What if I lose them? Scarcity mindset, fear. Happens to everybody. Until you flip your mindset and you realize that you did not do the job. None of you, including me, did not do the job by signing someone up. We've just opened the door to get the opportunity to do the job. You've opened the door. We haven't even walked through it to start to clean the house and fix all the issues inside. You didn't do the job. The job just started. You just got hired for the job. You have a house to build and you signed the contract. All right, house gonna be built. How long is it gonna take? Well, it's looking like it's gonna take between 12 and 18 months. Okay, we're gonna need this infrastructure, these materials, we're gonna need this type of planning. You didn't do the job. None of you did the job. I didn't do the job when I signed people up for Trinity. I only do the job as I'm doing the job. As we're speaking right now, I'm doing the job. And do the job until I help you guys get to your goals. So that's one reframe. Number two, what if I lose these people? And you mentioned, Jared, what do I have to do to, you think I would say, what would you have to do to never lose these people? It's kind of like what would you have to do to make failure impossible? That's not what I would say. It's actually not. Let's assume the worst case. You guys use the word lose a lot, like we own the clients. That's one problem, is that if you imply it as a loss, what is associated with loss? Fear, scarcity. Oh, I'm gonna lose them. Y'all are so scared of going to zero. I pray I go to zero. Give me zero. Now, at the same time, I don't, but I sit atop 32 floors up, beautiful New York City skyline. You could argue I have the most to lose from a monetary perspective, from an authority perspective, from a reputation perspective. What if it all goes? What if everybody decides systematically one at a time every week, I don't replace the leads? If you assume the worst case, you can make peace with fear. If you assume the worst case, you can make peace with fear. So let's say I lose it all. I'm using the word lose on purpose here. Oh, they don't want to do alumni. I don't sign any more up for Trinity. The new clients don't come in. New business mentees don't come in. People don't buy my nasal strips. Good. Fantastic. I have to move back into Melbourne with my parents. Good. What the fuck am I going to do? Am I going to sit and wallow in depression and apathy? Maybe for a few minutes. But then eventually, you'll either... I was going to say something quite dramatic. Look, you'll either kill yourself, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, or physically, or you'll figure it the fuck out and you'll realize that before a breakthrough happens, there's often a breakdown. And that how many millionaires do you have to look up on Google and they say, how many times have you gone broke? And they say like twice or 3 times, do you realize that the setback is a setup for the comeback? And that the thing a lot of you guys are fearing may happen. And if it does happen, it's also the greatest gift. And the more you fear it, the more it will control you. And so I make peace with the fact that everything I own and have and everything I love, including the people I love around me, that all can be taken away, including my own health. And I'm under no illusion that this is all guaranteed tomorrow. Wars and societal changes that can impact economies, that could be like, I ain't getting a coach no more. There's a depression happening. There's a war happening. We all think we're so in control and we're really not. And so you have to make peace with once you make peace with the worst case scenario, and you're like, what would I do? Oh, I'd go back to Melbourne. I live with my parents. Okay, cool. And then it's a fucking comeback. And then I get excited. And then I know, because I believe in my heart that I've seen this happen in reality, and I know it's within my heart and willpower to be able to create again, and do it better and bigger next time. Sure. And that's why I make peace. That's how I make peace. is assuming the worst case scenario, which you guys are all so fearful of. Imagine you're where I am. And like, bro, I feel like I made it. And then you'd be like, how scared and timid would you feel? Like, oh man, I got all these expenses. You think your expenses are high? Come here. I don't mean to make it an ego or competitive thing, but really I understand what you guys feel, and the antidote to it is making peace with the worst case scenario. This is stoicism. This is philosophy. This is religion. This is the epitome of God and the universe has a plan, and that everything that happens to you is for you. So, what if you lose people? I'll get practical. You all will. Every single client, every single client that you ever have, they at one point, they're going to move on. You're not going to lose them, they're going to move on. They're going to move on to something else. Your father, your mother, everybody you love, they're going to move on too, whether it's away from you, whether it's a relationship or death. Your animals, your cat, your dog, they're going to move on too. Death is guaranteed for them in the next 5 to 10 years. But there's a clinging and a craving. And this is why you guys, I recommend you read Buddhism and Stoicism, because it will help you, if you're not religious, it will help you gain greater control over your state of mind day to day to make peace with the chaos of reality, with the uncertainty of the future. So I would make peace, and you have to accept that every client that you have and will ever have will go. They will. They're going to move on. And guess what? The best thing you can do is you solve the problem for them. You solve the problem and they move on. And you've done the job. That's how you do the job. You do the best you can. You leave no stone unturned. You put in maximum effort for them within your boundaries, and you support them. You do everything you can for them. And if at the end of the day, you know you've done everything you can for them and they still couldn't or wouldn't or didn't change for the better, you can sleep well at night. And if you made errors and mistakes, you reflect on it, you self-analyze, and you improve for the next time for the next person. But all of the clients that we have, they're going to move on. This will happen in almost every industry where you run your own business. So the goal, instead of focusing on getting the client, let's focus on solving the problem and helping the person as fast as possible. I want to help you all make as much money and build as much skill as fast as possible. I can't wait for you guys to leave, I can't wait for you guys to, instead of needing Trinity, wanting to be in Trinity. I don't need Trinity to help me make money. I'm staying in Trinity Alumni because it's an incredible experience, and the community, and sense of belonging, I want to continue to cultivate, and I want to give back to the next generation of coaches. You see it as an opportunity rather than as a need. That's how I solve that problem. And then eventually, you guys will, okay, it's time to move on. It's time to take a pause and a break. I have to accept that. Even as much as I love you guys so much, you're like family to me, I have to accept that my family, the people I love the most, are going to move on. Let alone Jill, who you just met, and you've just signed her on. Replay this 5 times.